So started collaborative solutions in the early 90s, and just by the name, collaboration, I think I was ahead of my time, where that was certainly a key component to life. Its focus has been and continues to be on human-centric skills, which is, as it suggests, how we are humans, though most of society focuses on the outside, what we're doing.
Well, welcome to Self-Care Your Way to Success podcast. I am Ken Hall, your host and wellness expert. I have my guest spotlight today, Michele. And welcome, Michele. How are you?
I'm great, Ken. Nice to be here with you.
Awesome. Could you introduce yourself to our audience and tell them more about what you do and how you are a part of the communities that you serve?
I'll read a little bit that I put together. So started collaborative solutions in the early 90s, and just by the name, collaboration, I think I was ahead of my time, where that was certainly a key component to life. Its focus has been and continues to be on human-centric skills, which is, as it suggests, how we are humans, though most of society focuses on the outside, what we're doing and how busy we are. So that has not served me to have that focus, but rather to really more connect with who I am, who I'm not, what my purpose is, why I'm here, why I'm alive, such little things like that. And yeah, as a result of that level of consciousness, I realize A, life gets a lot easier and more fun, and B, we actually expand to enjoy the human family without all the ways society slices and dices us, whether it be by gender, by race, by nationality, by age, by socioeconomic, what have you. So that's key to me. I would say have had programs since the 90s, went to Russia when Yeltsin was privatizing, or Yeltsin was, yes, I guess he was, before Mr. Putin, privatizing his society. And he was just indiscriminately firing women. And I was part of a women's alliance for American and Russian women. And so we went there to set up business incubators, to give them choices and not only rely on the old boy network. And more recently, I've been in the MENA region, which is the Middle East, North Africa, and helping women there either choose if they like to become an entrepreneur, or if not, to just increase their business skills, job readiness skills. And now I'll jump to now, because of the divisiveness on various college campuses, I've launched Universities United, How to People, having gone to graduate school at Columbia, where a big divisiveness occurred last year, and just really feel compelled and really feel this is my purpose to really help bridge that gap between people on college campuses, foster authentic connection and belonging. And yeah, continue to, again, be an advocate for the human family and giving people the tools, really, and the experience. It's a 6-month program at no cost to any student, and we literally learn together and share. So that's my current, if you want anything else, I've done the corporate thing where I've spoken at MasterCard and Microsoft and done TEDx stuff. Author of a book, which seems, again, for years and years, people keep thinking that's the answer. I don't think so. Was the president of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, was a TV producer. So done lots of things that society suggested. However, I would say what I said initially about human-centric skills has truly been the most pivotal skill that I have and that I offer.
That's phenomenal. I am happy to share this message with the audience about how you're leading with humanity versus with your resume and with all of the accolades. And I very much agree that when I have these conversations with people, they lead with what they do and not who they are. Yeah. And so I love that you're bringing the humanity back. You have this program in place on campus. What has been, I guess, one of your most profound and impactful lessons that you've taken away from all of your efforts towards inclusion and collaboration and bringing humanity back as a whole instead of everybody being so divided into all of these subcategories and like minoritized into all of these groups, you know?
Yeah. Well, when they divide, they succeed when they divide us. Because when we have a scarcity mentality, we fight each other for it. And we become enemies of each other. So history has found that, yeah, it works, which is why Mr. Trump is using the playbook once again. I mean,
Yeah.
he said so. I mean, I don't know the shocking part of this for me. It's not. You see, he had Project 25. So it was all written out and clear. So for me, the antidote to that is we are the ones we've been waiting for. Stop waiting for Mr. Trump or Mr. Biden. I appreciate, we've done that, or any of your representatives in Congress or in the courts. And as painful as it's been to watch all of it disintegrate, I would say I trust the universe, that, what needs to be destroyed, we know is rebuilt. It springs, it comes back. I definitely know we will. And what can we learn from all of this? And I think the key here, to answer your question, Ken, is stop waiting for others to lead. I mean, I think examples like that is Martin Luther King. I mean, he didn't wait. He was, he spoke. Or even Nelson Mandela. He spent 30 years in jail and said they can, certainly imprison my body, but certainly not my heart and my mind. So I think we have a tendency to talk about empowerment and say, oh, isn't that great? And yet we still need help and helping each other live it. How do we live as an empowered human, right? And take responsibility, again, for this gift, this life. And what does it mean to take care of us so that we stop reacting, which we can't control, much of what happens out there. So we react and I think, give away our power by doing so. But to shift that to observing, collecting data, learning from it, and then responding in a more conscious and effective way, right? And it's sad, and I know it will get painful, more and more painful for many. I mean, he's made it clear that is his intention. And it's also an opportunity for us to look in the mirror and say, okay, how can I contribute? What do I need to do, right? And how do I find others who share these values? Because we were never meant to do this alone. We were always meant to do it together, which goes back to collaboration 35 years ago.
Absolutely. There's this huge, I don't really know how I would want to word this, but there's this deep onset cognitive dissonance in all of it, like in all of the ways that the majority of people in society, kind of like how you were saying, people talk about the empowerment, but who's taking the action, who's leading, who's choosing to step up and be active. And so I think that's where the dissatisfaction and the overall lack of morale in general amongst the population in this country is the cognitive dissonance, is where people say that they live and believe in certain principles, but the actions don't correlate with or align with, what it is, the results that they say that they want. Everyone is speaking up about the unfair, the policies, the treatments, where we're headed, but
Yep.
nobody wants to actively set a difference in place or come together collectively because, there are more of us than there are politicians. There are more of us than there are, the leaders in a sense.
And
What
that's
are
why
your,
it's happening, Ken.
that's why it's happening.
It's happening so that we realize we can continue to do the same, waiting for others to do it, right? And we know the definition of a fool, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Or we can finally say enough, right? And this program, by the way, this program that I just launched Thursday, this Universities United, is because I went to Columbia and I said, hey, I think I can help. And they were like, whoa, that's really ambitious. And whoa, we need to get funding. And I'm like, no, we don't. No, we can do this. And so I illustrate, right? I can say, I didn't wait for them to do it. And nor was I stopped by them saying, we need this and that. And I said, you know what? I won't rely on any administrative body, right? Revolutions have occurred from the ground up anyway.
Absolutely.
We know this. I mean, right? So if we truly are sensing our purpose and our commitment and our heart, and why we're here, then we become unstoppable, Ken.
Absolutely.
Really do. I mean, MLK was unstoppable, as an example. I mean, I have him on my wall with Gandhi, you know,
Yeah.
or Obama's with the Dalai Lama, right? We know unstoppable people, and we just need to be clear that, again, we are the ones we've been waiting for. So if we're complaining, which
Yeah.
many do, then we need to say, is this really serving me, right? Is
So,
finding fault really working? And I think for most of us, we'll say, no, it's not.
yeah.
It's
Well, beyond the lessons, the empowering lessons and what you have created and curated, what has been one of the hurdles that you have had to overcome beyond people having their doubts or thinking that all of these different moving pieces need to be in place instead of just starting? What has been one of your hurdles that you've had to overcome that has been really empowering for you to realize that you have that power, that you are the answer?
right. Well, it's the inner, our inner critic, overcoming that
Yeah.
and really listening and saying, does that serve me? Does that
Mm.
old way of interpreting life, that is the old way of responding to life? So it is the inner. That is where I started and replaced it. There's neuroplasticity now. When I was growing up, we didn't hear about such things, but now we do. We know I can rewire my brain and replace what no longer works with what does, right? So yes, beyond the people on the outside who may try to stop me, I recognize we all, I think, in my opinion, we're the biggest critics, right? And we prevent from the limited thinking from doing what we're doing. I'll just give you one specific example. People use this as a badge. I do not. But since you're asking me, I was blessed to have cancer, right? And I've prefaced it by saying blessed. Again, we could either look at what occurs as against us or for us. And that's a mindset that I have. I see every opportunity and every obstacle, or challenge as an opportunity. I think we all know the Chinese character or Japanese character represents both, opportunity and crisis in the same,
Yeah. Yin and yang. Yeah.
whatever. I mean, that's a Chinese word that has that particular meaning, but it's always both sides of the same coin. And, many of us unfortunately still think it's one or the other. Life, when it happens this way, it's wonderful. And life, when it happens this other way, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Not true. So let me just go a little further with cancer. So I was certainly wasn't expecting it, certainly surprised. And because I live a very healthy life in terms of my sleep, what I eat, exercise, stress management. For fun, I live in New York, so I go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art frequently, just so I can travel the world without a passport or an airplane and learn stuff. So yeah, we need to take care again of ourselves. And what I was so surprised, I then went through that process, yes, conventionally with chemo and radiation, and I chose to work with energy healers as well. I decided to do both. Had my own formula. And again, I think in the wellness world, we still too often have one size fits all, just eat broccoli, or do
Yeah.
this or just do that, and I hear people repeat it, whatever's trending, they repeat it. And, I would just say to your audience, please look at it more holistically. There's no one, magic bullet here. But what I learned from that experience, Ken, is to be aware of when you even do something good for yourself, when it becomes rote and you're just doing it and checking the box. I did that. I did meditation today, as an example. Right? Or I did yoga today, whatever your thing is. And cancer enabled me to, I thought, check the boxes until someone who, as an energy healer, she was out in California. I worked with healers from as far west as New Zealand, as far east as Italy. But everybody in between offered me very different approaches. And this one person said, Michele, what you need to do is see your tumor as your beloved. And I went, exactly. I said, you're telling me the very thing that's killing me, I'm to love? And she said, exactly. And Ken, the moment I truly learned what it meant to love me unconditionally, the stuff I like and the stuff I don't, right? I was able to eliminate the tumor in 5 weeks.
Wow.
So, yeah, wow, thank you.
Yeah.
So we sometimes need those very.
We're going to get right back to the talk, but I want to offer you a free gift. I know. No, it's actually free. Like, you don't have to pay anything. There's no shipping and handling or no processing fee. Literally, all you have to do is click the link, download the Self-Care Your Way to Success Chakra Alignment Journal, and start journaling and start your path to wellness. It's going to help you get aligned in mind, body, and spirit, help you organize your entrepreneurial goals, and help you get back centered and fill your cup so you can pour back into the communities that you serve. So click the link, download your free copy of Self-Care to Success Chakra Alignment Journal, and then give me some feedback. Let me know what you want to see in this journal, because this is the cool part about the virtual journal. As I add more to it, you get the updates. So no, you'll never have to buy another journal. You'll never have to download another version of it. You're going to get all of the updates as the new editions come out. And this is like my gift back to humanity. This is my gift back to the almost 600 women who have joined in solidarity to support the success of this podcast. And I want to see you all prioritizing your self-care. So click the link, get your self-care journal, and let's get back to this talk with this wonderful, wonderful woman in business.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we sometimes need those very demonstrative examples. However, I would say to all of us, you may not have that concrete example. You may not. But however, just review your life on a day-to-day basis. Be that conscious, right, to take stock and say, if what I'm doing, or is, excuse me, what I'm doing, changing the quality of my life? Am I the creator of it? Again, this will continue to happen that I cannot control. However, I can control how I respond to it.
Yeah.
Mr. Trump will do all of what Mr. Trump will do. I cannot control him, right? However, I can protest. I just called my 2 senators to save public media, but I call and petition. I do what I feel I can do on an ongoing basis, and we all have to decide what contribution we want to make. I'll just say, without waiting for it to be, I just climbed Mount Everest. Believe me, if we can have, again, those like MLK or Nelson Mandela or certain Holocaust survivors, how did they do it, right? How did they manage through that horrific example? We can. Even, I appreciate it's horrific, and I'm not diminishing that. And I'm also saying I've had more privileges than most. However, we still have to overcome the limited thinking and the critic. And there's so much we can do, not only individually, but together.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly have lived that the inner critic is the biggest hurdle to overcome, and unsubscribing from that binary thinking things are either right or wrong, or black or white, or good or evil. It's like everything is just is. And I think but most people don't really live in the fullness of their free will. And I spoke about this in another conversation that I had, is when I did a live podcast I was a guest on a podcast. I talked about how a lot of times people frame free will in a sense, like in a religious sense, as if like free will is just your free will to go out and do things that are going to be compromising to other people. Like it has to do with the good or the evil. And free will is just your right to choose, your right to be, and your right to respond instead of react. And I think we all can learn a lot from moving more into that free will of how are we creating our lives instead of just reacting to what's happening around us.
And know that we are responsible with whatever choice. No choice is also a choice. And whether or not we truly raise up others or oppress others. Or anything in between. So yes, I think it's really important. And again, I believe once you unconditionally love all of this, and there is no division, we're then in a better, I think, the only position to unconditionally love someone else. If we haven't learned to love how to unconditionally love this, can I see me as both always, people say work in progress. I will say always learning, always improving, of course. And at the same time, can I say I'm perfect, meaning in this moment, I am doing the best I know how. Every word coming out of my mouth to you is the best I can in this moment think to share with you, right? And that's for me perfect. I can't do more than that. I'm present, I'm doing my best. And I would say for me, that was a great, even learning just that gave me such peace. And because again, the critic can easily take over and go, no, not good enough, right? So can again we not be binary, and can we hold both? I'm perfect, I'm doing my best, totally committed and present. And yes, I'm learning the school, this thing called life is the best school on the planet. So yes, I'll do my best to observe, gather the data, inculcate it or digest it, and then yes, apply. So yeah.
Absolutely. You definitely find that quiet inner mind, that peaceful existence, and just that inner knowing, the inner sureness when you are a continuous student of life. So, yeah.
And I
So,
would say for me also, there's a teacher I've been studying with recently who says, and even accept the noisy mind.
yes.
Right? So I'm not judging either. So in this moment, here's what I'm feeling, here's what I'm thinking. I let them come in, I let them go out, and I'm not judging at all.
Yeah.
I keep thinking when we meditate, we need to be silent and have no thoughts. No such thing,
No, yeah. No.
right? And more, not only practical, but more aspiring is to not say, I'll only enjoy life when it is between here and here.
Yeah.
I can enjoy life with all of this, right?
Yeah.
Because I am able to again create my moment, my peace, right? Without it being determined by noisy or quiet.
Yeah, or just whatever is happening. I absolutely have to live by that. It keeps me just in this state of flow. Even when I don't have flow, when I'm like, okay, what's next?
Right?
What should I be putting my energy into? There's this, the happiness is based on what's happening, but there's this unshakable joy that I've experienced, even through a noisy mind or a quiet mind, based on letting it flow and not being judgmental of any parts of anyone else.
Right.
I was watching, it's going to come to me. It was a few days ago. I was watching a psychologist speaking about because you brought up judgment, speaking about if you notice it, then you have it, or something of the sort. Like if
Yeah.
it's something about someone that is just so projectile that it's unnerving to you, then it's probably mirroring to you something that you could look inward and resolve and accept about yourself.
Absolutely. If something's triggering, if you're triggering me, that very trait, right, is here. If I'm screaming at Mr. Trump, there's something about Mr. Trump that's within me. And that's a hard thing for us to really live and accept. And I thought you were also saying, regardless of the state of my mind, I can be at peace just letting that be.
Yeah.
We are so accustomed to the conditional. I'm only going to be at peace when it looks like this, sounds like this,
Yeah.
feels like this, all these conditions. And the true peace is when you create that acceptance and peace with anything, right? Anything. And that's not easy. And it's like a muscle. You need to go to the mental gym. This muscle's that muscle. So I'll just invite, anyone who wants to join us, who may know someone at a university. It's a good age to learn these things. I wish I would have had this opportunity when I was going to school. Yeah, if this resonates, please, you have my name, check me out in LinkedIn, and yeah, let's connect and help more people create their own life.
Absolutely. And I love that you are cornering an age group of people who definitely need that emotional and mental development at such a pivotal age when they're about to venture out into society and become full-on contributors, and they are the future of everything. It's really phenomenal what you're doing, and I really hope the audience accepts that invitation to connect with you and learn more and develop that emotional intelligence muscle and just that confidence and that self-acceptance so that we all can accept each other and peacefully and move in collaboration. It's something that we need more now than ever. We need it more now than ever, yeah.
Just to give you the latest stats that I read, in terms of loneliness and suicide as a result. Previously, it used my age group, when you were older, you were alone, and we had the highest rate. These days, it is the teenagers, it is those in university level who are just, they've said it to me, addicted to their phones, not feeling connected at all, feeling quite lonely, not belonging, not having a sense of belonging, not even having a sense, but not having a sense of purpose or understanding where to go. I just got off a podcast that, someone was saying, oh, it's so hard to find a job, and I couldn't help but wonder, have you started finding you first before you look for a job? But, so that age group is 27%. My age group is 20% in terms of suicide rate. It's a significant difference.
Yeah, and it makes up 47% totally of all of the rate. So yeah, we definitely need that. I encourage anybody who needs that connection, wants to feel that genuine connection, that they definitely reach out and connect with others. And it's so important. Human connection is so important to self-care and wellness. And I don't think people really realize how huge of an impact connection has on how we feel overall and the way we show up and our level of confidence and our satisfaction with our lives. Having commonality and things to connect with people over and talk with people over and fellowship about.
I was going to say, I think it's come out more in the research. Again, it was more my generation because, many of us are living alone and not out in the social world. I just find it really important for us to notice that with our phones and with this age group, again, university age, that TikTok and social media, with however many likes you get, right, it appears as though one should be feeling fulfilled or connected. And the irony is they're not. We can see it even when we go out right to a restaurant, everybody's on their phone. So it comes back again to taking responsibility for your life.
Yeah, it does. Well, thank you so much for your time, Michele. Could you share with the audience just one more time how they can connect with you, how they can become a part of your initiative at Columbia, and if they can find you online? I know you mentioned LinkedIn, but if there are any other social media or online outlets where individuals can connect with you or look you up, definitely share those with the audience now.
Okay, well that's really the best. My website is being updated as we speak. More information will be there. But let's connect as humans. I know, if this resonates with you, let's just explore. We can take 10 minutes on Zoom and see if there's not only for yourself, but maybe someone else in your life that isn't reaching out, isn't hearing this message. And, you can help someone else discover a pathway that would be very, I would say a mirror for their own life, as well as, yes, reaching out to others. I would just also, I'm not trying to think of what else, I think one question, I don't know, I know this is a cliche with Nike to just do it, but I just want to really suggest to people, and I guess we did really mention it, don't allow other people's perspective, impact you. Take it in, see if it resonates, kick the tires, see if it's true for you, and really know that you can, and you will, and the universe is so generous, truly, that if you do that without any doubt, right, as one door closes, which Steve Jobs, last I checked, had many doors closed for him, or Edison, when he was inventing his stuff, right? I mean, there's no inventor that gets success immediately. That you just really know throughout history that as doors closed, those who persevered found many doors to open. So I would, say more of the, believe in yourself. And that in and of itself can really offer us great peace and joy. So I just wanted to kind of end on that.
I love the way that this conversation flowed. And I think that's a beautiful sentiment and empowering notion and thoughtful advice to share in closing. And this is really our first time meeting face to face, but you have no idea that I needed to hear that more than ever today. So I think is in total alignment. Yeah. With everything, just energetically, the time, everything. So thank you for that closing remark.
And I'll thank you for saying that. And I'll say again to everyone, that is what happens. If you're open, right, and not saying this is the only avenue for me, or this is the only things that will offer me something, and we literally say to the universe, I don't know, I'll actually go there. So many of us were saying, well, you sound like you're stupid if you say you don't know. You have to have the answer. And I would offer Mr. Socrates as a wonderful model who asked wonderful questions. And, there is the saying, more important than a perfect answer is a question.
Absolutely.
As we go through this chaotic time, may we enjoy saying, I don't have the answer, and literally be open to all the generosity of the universe to help us see and create from the unknown, because that's innovation. We're all wanting to be innovative and creative, and yet we want to do the same thing.
Exactly.
It's like, wait a minute, that's not innovation. So if we're really worried about AI, great. Then let's really recognize that we need to go beyond what we know and enjoy this wonderful space that we have of innovation right now.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for this talk. Thank you for starting off your week here